this episode of Trendy Tailgate Talk. This episode we will be going over what to bring to a tailgate. So if it's like your first tailgate, this is the perfect podcast for you because I'll be going over obvious items and not so obvious items to bring. All right, let's get started. So the first item on the list is beer, and beer is the most important drink at the tailgate if you're 21. You're going to need a pack a cooler full of your favorite beer to sip on while eating and playing games. If it's like a colder game, beer can be replaced with hot cider, hot chocolate, coffee, and then you can even spike these items if that's what you're into. Just make sure you check ahead of time if alcoholic beverages are allowed in the parking lot of the stadium. Some colleges are considered dry campuses and that's not going to be allowed. Now, if you're under 21, bring some juice. Don't get yourself in trouble, okay? Be smart. The next item on the list is ice and cooler, and like I said, this is another obvious item, but I feel like it's so important that I'm going to mention it anyway. These items are obviously essential in keeping drinks cold, and if it's an earlier game in the season, you don't want to be sipping on warm beer, so make sure you have a cooler and also make sure you're able to replenish the ice, unless you have a Yeti cooler. Next on the list is food, and meat is a staple food of the tailgate. You can have hot doggers, hamburgers, chicken, steak, whatever you want, you name it. Also, if you marinate the meat the night before, it's going to make it so much better, and everybody's going to be so much happier and think you're this great cook, and you're just going to be a big hit. Also, snacks are super necessary because people just don't want to eat hot dogs for 8 hours. They also want to be able to pass around chips and have dip and carrots and celery and all those hors d'oeuvre type foods, so those are also really important to bring. Next on the list is a grill, and unless you want to eat sushi or have uncooked hot dogs, a grill is super important to bring. Like I said, you don't want to eat anything raw, so it's almost a necessary item if you want to have food. You can get one that's propane or that runs on charcoal. I have seen in the past that you can buy grills that are customized to your college. Currently Trendy Tailgate doesn't make custom grills, but who knows, maybe in the future we will. Next on the list is condiments, and I feel like condiments is a really underrated item that people are just so used to being around that they don't think to bring. And I personally can't eat a hot dog without mustard, so if you don't have mustard, I'm not going to be a happy camper, but make sure you bring your ketchup, your mustard, your relish. You can bring hot sauce or barbecue sauce, depending on what your family likes or what you're cooking that day. Next on the list is a super important item that these items aren't super important, but it's utensils. And you're going to need utensils for both eating and grilling. The ones for eating can be plastic or disposable. You can also get the paper ones that are, kind of the paper straws, so this way they're better for the environment. But if you can't find those, obviously it's fine to get plastic. Don't forget your grilling ones, and if you don't want to lose your good grilling utensils, just go to the dollar store and buy dollar ones, so if you lose them, who cares? Next on the list is chairs. And chairs is really important because, think about it, if the game's at 3, you're going to start tailgating at 11. So you're not going to want to be standing around the entire day. So just bring chairs. It makes your guests more comfortable. That means, when you're done grilling, you can take a break. Like I said, with the grill, you can also get them that are custom. So if you're an Ohio State fan, you can get Ohio chair. If you're a Notre Dame fan, you can get the Notre Dame grill. It's just really fun to have them, for your team. Next on the list is games. So a good way to kill time before going to the stadium is playing games, whether it be hacky sack or can jam, or even you can play drinking games like beer pong or flip cup. It's just a really good time to socialize or maybe meet new people. Also, if you go to a game where a team is winning at halftime by 40 points like Ohio did to Maryland, you can leave the stadium and come in and play games in the parking lot, and you can still be in the game atmosphere, which is fun. Next on the list is is the most important item, and that's sunscreen. If you're pale like me, sunscreen is going to be your best friend because I have stood in games and didn't realize until I left that I was super sunburnt. So just make sure you put it on beforehand, and if you are really, really pale, put it in the Trendy Tailgate fanny pack and you'll have it the entire game. The last thing to bring on the list would have to be trash bags because you don't want to leave your trash everywhere. People take really big pride into their universities and don't want trash laying around. Also, it's just straight up rude to do that. Alright, that's all the time we have for this week. I hope you really enjoyed this video and it's super helpful. You can find more videos on our website, www.trendytailgate.com, or you can find us at Instagram at trendytailgate.1 or on Etsy at Trendy Tailgate. Alright, we hope to hear from you guys next week.